welcome to Frequency and Friends. We are back, the greatest podcast in the world. And today we have some extremely special guests, people that are dear to my heart, friends of the table, two of my favorite rappers, especially from Brampton, hands down the best rappers I know. I'm not going to get into that debate. People call me out for that kind of stuff. But let me introduce Noyz and B Magic. Make some noise.
Woo! Thank you, man. Thank you for having us.
Welcome, boys. Welcome. We got Jyoti Dillon to the right of me, Jay Static to the left, DJ M in the cut with DJ Aaron, and of course, Cam from Lucid Video giving us a hand as always. How you guys feeling?
Great. Happy to be here, and seeing it come from something you thought of to this it's been lovely to watch your trajectory.
I gotta say, some of the old videos we always look back at when we started this podcast. It's got to be at least 6 or 7 years now, and B Magic was there for some of the first shoots that we did, whether it was Jay Static's house or at the old office or whatever. So it's nice to see the growth, and likewise with you guys, man, seeing the growth. For you guys being in the industry as rappers, as artists, as influencers of the culture, it's been amazing to see your guys' journey. Exactly why we have you here today to share your story. For those of you that don't know, the dynamic duo, Movin Cool, you guys move as a unit, separately known as B Magic and Noyz.
Yes, sir.
Let's get right into it. If you don't know the format of the show, it's not traditional. We're not here to promote any shows or events. We want to talk about you guys as the artists. We want to know where you guys come from, your stories. I want to start with Noyz because I know the least amount of Noyz. I know your bars. I've been listening to them all day in the car. Unbelievable, man. Like one thing I gotta say, right off the top is you don't get enough credit for your writing ability. I think the reason that I figured that it happens is most of your bars just go over everybody's head. Like it's so much talent and info that's all meshed into one. But before we get into the bars, let's start with Baby Noyz. Where's Noyz coming from? Tell me the story of where you came up, some of your musical influences.
For sure, man. So even though I rep Brampton, I was actually born in Malton. So I rep Malton just as hard. Anybody who knows me knows that. Spent like the first 11, 12 years of my life there. I moved to Brampton. And growing up, it was like I had a lot of older cousins. So my first exposure to like music and to hip hop in general was by, I'd go visit my cousins, and they were old enough, they were in high school, so like they had jobs, they could buy the latest tape CDs. So my first exposure to hip hop was just like going over and visiting them and seeing the new stuff they had bought. So like the first time I ever saw like 36 Chambers or Ready to Die or Illmatic, like it was at my cousin's house. And this was even before I was listening to the music, just looking at the artwork and like opening up, looking at the liner notes. I'm just like, yo, what is this? Right? Just being totally enamored with it and fascinated with it. And then, as you grow up, you start to, pay attention more to like, what's on TV, what are people playing in their cars? And like, that's how my kind of introduction to hip hop and to music in general kind of came from. And, growing up in Malton, it was hip hop, it was Bhangra, it was reggae. It was all that, right? So, people would come to school, they'd have, they'd be wearing like a Shabba Ranks t-shirt or something like that, right? And then you spark a conversation around that. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about growing up in like an environment like that, is that you just become exposed to so much in terms of music and culture. And so, that becomes like a building block that makes you want to explore further.
I always wonder, like nowadays with the young generation, because we all came up with similar stories. We looked up to whether it's an older brother, cousins. That influence came directly from them. I always go back to that story of like learning about Tupac and Biggie from my older cousin. B Magic knows him as well. And you hear the story and you're fascinated. You don't even know what's going on. You have no idea what it's about, but you hear these stories, and because you look up to them, you start to appreciate the art that they're listening to, and you follow suit. I wonder with the kids these days, you think that still exists? Like, are people still influenced by their elders, or are they off on their kind of own road?
I feel like it might be a bit of both, but I know, like, just speaking for my nieces, for example, they're like 11, 12 years old, and because I'm into music and because I'm into hip hop, they're exposed to it in that sense. But the stuff they listen to is like wildly different from some of the stuff that I listen to. So I think that older generation can kind of serve as an introduction point.
Yeah.
But the internet being what it is now, you can you can basically curate everything that you listen to, everything you watch. You don't have to be, it's not dictated to you by what you buy in the store or what's shown to you on TV or on the radio. You can just seek and find whatever you want.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Different times.
A young person said that to me. They were like, back then, like you said, if you wanted to listen to 36 Chambers, you got to go get the cassette or the CD. Now you could look it up and listen to the whole album in one night, and now you know 36 Chambers. Just
but
like
I think
that,
people
right?
that are, if like kids nowadays, I feel like if they're really into something, they'll dive deep.
Yeah.
And they'll figure out if they like a certain artist and they see that person's affiliated with XYZ, they'll dive deep and figure out who it is that the influences are. Because it's just how much are you into it?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And like now with the technology and the way music has changed and it's online, it's Spotify, it makes it easier for them to do all that.
Yeah.
Whereas before, our only avenue of information was either
Encyclopedias.
TV or family or the people you hung out with. You see what they're listening to, you automatically like that and you listen to it.
It's funnier because it's like there's so much easier access to information and music as well now. But I feel like, okay, inquisitive minds will always find that type of shit. But I feel like because it's so easy, people aren't digging like that, right? Because it's like the attention span nowadays, it's like, yo, there's so much shit coming out every week that it's like, yo, I have all this stuff coming at me. Why am I going to go listen to a song from 15 years ago, right? But it's like, for us, it was like a rite of passage. Your brother handing you down a CD being like, yo, you don't know nothing, right? And then you listening to that shit and your mind being blown, right? So it's like it's a positive that you have access to all this shit, but I guess maybe it's too easy now or something. Like,
You never wanted to get called out with like a Nas song came on and you didn't know when everybody's bumping their head through. You're like, oh shit, you got to be up on your music back then, right?
Yeah.
So I get, a gift and a curse with the amount of information that we get, right?
for sure.
Noyz, you're listening to Wu-Tang, you're listening to Biggie. How are you doing this in a Punjabi household? Because my mom, band kar, like gala karte or whatever. How was that in your home?
Man, I was listening to it on the low. It was all hidden, man.
The
Like,
headphones.
The headphones, headphones or like the Walkman. I'd like take the bus or ride my bike to school. Like that's where I'd be listening to it. I wasn't listening to it at home.
Yeah.
If it was like wait till my parents are asleep and then listen to it that way. So they really didn't know what I was listening to because I wouldn't really show in front of them that I was listening to stuff. But
Nice.
once I was out of the house, then it was like, then we could have the conversations with my friends about like, yo, did you hear this new DMX? Did you hear this new Snoop or whatever it was?
Get the Shockwave CD player. Make sure it doesn't skip while you're running.
Honestly, Noyz was probably the last guy that still had a Discman. Like he was holding on, like MP3s, everything was out by then, and he was still rolling around with a
Cassette?
Discman.
Oh,
yeah.
Discman, yeah. Eh? Damn. So you definitely had the Shockwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
B Magic. I gotta call you Guggen because I know you
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Guggen. I'll say B Magic. I said it 3 times, but you're Guggen to me.
Yeah, for sure.
So with your story, it's a little bit different. I know it, but I want you to share it with the rest of the world. Where you came from, where you grew up, your migration to Canada. How did that all happen?
Yeah, so I was born in Solberg, Norway, and
Rewind.
Rewind. That sounded like when someone swears and you have to like edit it.
Yeah.
Or you reverse
well,
it.
to be honest, like the hospital was in Drammen, Norway, and then like my family at that point lived in Solberg, Norway, and me and all my brothers were born there. My dad ended up there way back in the days on his journey, like most of our fathers, looking for a better life, and yeah, me and my brothers were all born there. I have 2 older brothers, and hip hop in my life came through them. Thought you being a younger brother, JJ, you being a younger brother. The importance of like their influence on you, right?
Yeah.
When you're young, that's everything. You want to emulate everything they do, right? So for me, I was lucky enough to have a brother who was quite older than me, 11 years older for my oldest brother, 6 years older for my middle brother. And so that influence when I was super young, I was like hearing Public Enemy, shit like that. And then like, obviously the golden era of hip hop in the 90s, it's like that was my theme songs to go into soccer practice as a young kid, And it's like, obviously with immigrant parents, it was always mom and dad were always working. Yeah. The second my brother got his license, he was taking me to practices, So it's like, they were never around for like that type of stuff. So it's like, obviously you're going to have hip hop banging in the car and, you know,
Yeah.
I wanted to emulate the stuff that they were showing. I wanted to be cool like them. So for me, it was, I didn't have to even go find it. It was just in my atmosphere, and I took to it because I wanted to be just like my brothers.
But being in Norway and me just not being privy to like where the music was at that time, hip hop was as big as it was in the States, out there as well in Europe.
So probably not, I wouldn't say as big as in the States, but it was young music. It was young culture at the time, right? It was the cool thing to listen to. Obviously in Europe you do get a lot of back then it was techno, now it's house, EDM and stuff like that. But you know, it was you know, in my brother's car it'd be a mix of that and it'd be hip hop, it'd be everything. It was just something that was new, and for me it was like early 90s when I first remember hearing hip hop.
Yeah.
And those songs live the test of time till this day, right? And it might not have been popular in all of Norway, but it was popular for young people. So like even nowadays you kind of see a lot of these older acts are able to go tour in Europe because hip hop is very prevalent. Like the real hip hop, as I call it, like the old school fundamental hip hop, that is still very huge in Europe. So that had gotten there back in the 90s. Like
I hear that a lot from a lot of veteran hip hop stars that they make the majority of their money touring in Europe. Like that is what pays the bills for them. They go out there, they make their money. People pay top dollar, and their fan base is still huge. It's just here that things are changing week by week. So you know it's not as lucrative for them. But like to your point, Europe seems like it's I mean, there's so many people out there, right?
Yeah.
The Germany shows. I always hear Nori say Dusseldorf.
Yeah, like but like I feel like no matter what, like the Western entertainment controls the world, right? Like everybody looks up to Hollywood, everybody looks up to what's going on out here. So it was like I learned English literally through cartoons and hip hop music, right?
That's
it was like
crazy.
that was the first time I heard English. Right. And then obviously watching soccer, like you would see your favorite player speaking English. So it's like you want to know. Right. And it's like legit. I got taken out of ESL like within 1 year of being here. And that's literally because of hip hop and cartoons, like nothing else.
Shout out to ESL, man. If you're in ESL, make some noise for ESL, man. It helped me. So both of you guys are proud Bramptonians. You guys rep Brampton to the fullest. I want to know about your migration. I heard Noyz say a quote. I had to write it down so I don't mess it up. But it was, I am who I am, and I'm from where I'm from. And you're speaking about Brampton, and a lot of people shy away. You know, we get put in a bad light that we're, you know, Brampton is like this or Brampton's like that. You're always standing tall and proud for Brampton. Talk about your guys' migration to Brampton and how it influenced your lives and your music.
And I just think back, you know, as you're talking about that, you know, the lyric from Big Boy from Outkast, where he says, "If you want to reach the nation, start from your corner." Right? And even you know, I think Boggy on one of the tracks on Humble's mixtape, where he says, "I encourage you to think global but act local." Right? So whatever you want to do, whatever dreams you have, whatever things you want to accomplish, there's no other place to start but where you're at. Right? And that's something that I'm a big proponent of, and that's something when any artist tries to come to ask me for advice, it's just like, okay, who's around you, what equipment do you have around you, what stories do you have to tell within your own community, because that ultimately will connect with people. That's what's going to resonate with people, right? You might have bigger aspirations, wider aspirations, but those don't happen until you establish that grassroots base for yourself, and that starts with where you're at. And so for us, like coming up in Brampton, the stories we tell in our music about, whether it's about immigration, whether it's about mental health, whether it's about just, chasing dreams, like that all comes from the people we were around, the people we grew up with, and the people we were influenced by. And like, that's very much so like a Brampton story. Like for example, like you just told the story right now about your family from Punjab to Norway to Brampton, like how much depth and richness is within that story, right? You can write songs about that forever.
Yeah.
Right. And so these are the stories that need to be celebrated. And I feel like this is the stuff that shaped us and it molded us growing up and still does to this day. So, we rep that 100%, man. People will talk about the city, but most of the people talking about it aren't even from the city, and they're not really trying to understand the city with any sort of nuance, right? It's just like, this place is bad. And when you look at it in a very black and white way in that sense, then like, you're not looking at people as people.
Yeah.
And you only hear the negative things as well.
Exactly.
You never
Yeah.
hear about the positive things, right?
Right. So that's something, I don't know if we consciously went out to be like, yo, we're going to put on for Brampton, but it was just like, these are the people that are around us. These are the stories that are around us. So we're going to speak to what we know and what we live. And I think that like the reality of that and people's livelihoods being reflected in some of our lyrics, I think that's allowed us to connect with an audience.
You know, it's funny as you're saying that, something just came up in my mind. Somebody said something to me that makes so much sense now. Babu, and you know, not to take a shot at Babu, but he made that song Brampton, whatever it was called, right? Kind of in a funny tone of Brampton. I think you were involved in it as well. But the person, what they were kind of upset about it, and I was like, what's the big deal? It's such a hit song, you know, whatever. And they're like, he's not even from Brampton, and he's making fun of Brampton. Like, they didn't like that aspect of it. And I get it. Like, it's kind of like Punjabis in Bollywood. We've always been put as a certain light. Like, we've never been represented, I think, fairly in that industry. And I think it's happening on Six Buzz. It's happening, you know, in certain music, certain news feeds. And to your point, like, if you're from there, you should stand tall and represent it for what it is, because it did, you know, give us all the upbringing that we come from. And it's not a place like that would be considered a joke to us that we're, you know, considering that we're from there, kind of deal. But shout out to Babu.
to be honest, like, even when Babu does that type of shit, right? It's not. I don't think it's done with like malicious intent.
No,
right?
he's
It's
a
just
comedian.
like, because it's like, we know Babu, right? So it's
Yeah.
like that's the type of like, you know, funny things that he's always done, right?
Yeah.
Like, just say little stuff like that. He made a song out of it, and it is what it is,
People
right?
love
Like,
it.
people can feel how they feel about it. They're inclined to do so, but it's like,
That's
it's
like,
just a funny song, man.
I
You know,
didn't-
in the times we're in, we need a fucking laugh. So it's like, yo,
that's
it is
how
what
I
it
felt
is.
at the beginning, because I was like, it's
Yeah.
just a joke, like, it's not a big deal. But then, like, when he said it, I was like, okay, I kind of get it, because if you're from there, you start to become a part of the joke, kind of
Yeah,
thing, you
no.
know?
I
Like,
think people take
Bob
things-
Desang's
laughing with or
running
laughing
for
at.
mayor.
People
in
take things
Brampton.
way too
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
Like, that song played everywhere around the
Everywhere, yeah.
world, and people jammed to it even if they didn't never been to Brampton in their
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
it
I feel
You
like
gotta
it
look at
gave
both
people
sides
a
of
way
it.
to connect to Brampton.
Yeah.
Because they had no, like, they're like, oh, like,
like a
oh, this song
tourism
about
boost.
Brampton. People, it was like the biggest song in England. It's crazy.
yeah,
It's
the
huge.
fact that he toured around the world on one song.
Yeah.
To be honest,
He kind of
the
owes
whole-
Brampton some money, I think,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
He's on the borderline. I think he's on the borderline.
I want to go back to a place that gets mentioned a lot in your guys' story. I'm sorry, forgive me if I mess it up. El Macambo, is it?
Yes, sir.
The name of the
Yeah.
place?
Yeah.
Take me back to this. This is I'll let you explain it, because you'll know better. I don't want to screw up the story, but tell us what El Macambo is, what it means to your guys' relationship and your story.
So El Macambo is actually the first venue that I ever performed at. So at this point, I had just been making music for fun, you know, diss tracks to the homies, just like I had created stuff for like a mixtape, but it was still in just young, naive nature, right? And I had been reaching out to Humble, because Humble had done Voice for the Voiceless on YouTube, and it was popping on YouTube. Like, I remember every person that I knew that was Punjabi was like sharing this video, right? And for me, it was like, holy shit, there's somebody else who's doing something that I want to do, right? And it's like, before, like, we'd seen it, but like, this is somebody within arm's reach, right? And I had started messaging Humble, being like, yo, I do this thing too, right? And just like, you know, being a young, dumb kid thinking like, you know, I'm the shit. And then I sent him songs, and he was honest with me. He was like, yo, these songs are good. This is what you need to work on, this, that. And he was at that point, he was a mentor to me, because I, even within my friend circle, nobody really knew I made music. Like, it was something I did to just kind of get away from the world, right? And then I started talking to Humble, and then he's like, yo, I'm doing this show downtown. There's going to be a couple young, you know, Punjabi kids like yourself on it going up before me, and then I'm going to close out the show. It was downtown at a venue called El Macombo, and I was like, sure. I just said yeah, but I'd never ever been on a stage. I'd never even thought of being on a stage. I just made songs in a fucking basement in Brampton, you know? And then I was like, yeah, before I could even think about it, right? Then, you know, I had this show, and you're like, fuck, dude, I've never been on a stage before.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, what the,
yeah,
right? And then you're okay, you do your fucking in the basement, trying to fucking think of what your favorite rappers do and all that shit, right? Did all that stuff, and I met Humble for the first time at that fucking show.
Oh, so you had never actually met him.
Met him in person.
What are you communicating on?
I would say maybe Facebook
Oh,
at
okay.
that point.
Yeah,
Like, it was like
Messenger or
Instagram wasn't
something.
as popping back then,
Yeah.
so it was probably Facebook.
I don't even know.
It probably wasn't even, right? So it was like Facebook, and then, you know, and then he was like, and he didn't really know me, so he was just like, you know, he just wanted to create this thing. He was just like, I want to start something, right? And that day, like, you know, I remember the producer I was working with at that time was underage. I had to sneak him into this venue. Like, it was all sorts of shit. I invited any kid that I knew at that time to be like, come through, yo, I'm making it big time, right? And so we do this show, and I do, in my eyes, I did amazing. Just being on stage, not forgetting my words, and fucking performing, I fucking felt like the king shit in the world.
What's
right?
the feeling going on stage though? Like
Fucking
right before,
horrible. Like it was like the
mom's
worst
spaghetti,
bro. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like
I can't imagine.
I've never had a moment like I've played sports, but it doesn't feel like the eyes are only on you.
Yeah.
When you're on a stage, it feels like every single person in that building is looking directly at you.
And they probably are. Yeah.
And they are,
Yeah.
right? So it's like,
That's crazy.
it was a huge learning curve, but it's like, it's that thing, fake it till you make it. So that was in my head. Just don't let them see that you're nervous. Act like you've been there a million times before, right? So fucking did that shit, felt like it did amazing. When I got off stage, all my homies dapped me up like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that shit.
Who are
Fucking other artists, like that day, Fateh was there.
Yeah. Big Bird.
Big Bird was there.
Big Bird looked like
Sonny Malton.
Jim Jones or something. He had the white tee. I just seen
Yo,
the
that
video.
was the triple XL era. So.
You, Sonny Malton, I saw Fateh, Big Bird, and Humble. I saw on stage.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure there was more
Sick
artists.
Knowledge, was he there?
I can't remember
Okay.
now. Like, this is years ago, right? But yeah, so like, you know, everybody dapped me up. So I'm like, yo, I did something right. You know, just that, all that nervousness, the second I got off stage, just lifted off my back. Like every single worry of fucking going up there, just gone, right? Fast forward, I've done this shit. I'm having the time of my life. My friends are pouring me shots, this, that. I'm fucking hammered at this point. I'm outside the venue. An older cat from Heart Lake. Heart Lake is the neighborhood that I grew up in, that Umrit grew up in, Noyz grew up in as well. We didn't know each other, right? But I knew his homie. Shout out to Jag, the homie, right? My OG back in Heart Lake. And I seen him outside. I'm like, yo, what's good? Thank you for coming. This, that. And he's like, yo, my boy spits too. And it's like, you hear that fucking all the time. Like, you know, it's like, you know, somebody knows how to rap, and we'd be at parties, and the freestyle is garbage.
Little
right?
did you know DMX was coming
bro.
out.
So like, yo, I was there, and I was like, okay, here we go again, you know? And then he's like, yo, you guys want to cypher? And I'm like, I'm smashed at this point, but I'm like, you know, wow, I was off such a high. I'm like, let's do this shit, right? I would have said yes to fucking anything at this point, right? And then, so we start Noyz starts spitting first, and Noyz is spitting exactly how he does right now. Like, I'm not saying that there was fucking any steel that needed to be sharpened. He might think so, but as I'm hearing the same noise that I see right now, obviously a little bit more polished, but the same type of lyrics, right?
Yeah.
That's scary.
And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Like, usually it's like some drunk guy fucking
you're ready to
spitting
expect
bars.
some.
Yeah, right? So then he spit all this shit to the point where I'm like kind of low-key nervous to spit now, right? But like, you know, I probably spit something that I written back in the days, right? But like, we did a little back and forth, and I was like, holy fuck, like, I met somebody, another Punjabi dude from Heart Lake that I had no idea who is, knows my homie, so I know he's good people's. And then we dapped it up, and I'm like, yo, let me get your info and like you should be recording. You're too good to just like, because I had to ask them. I'm like, yo, have you recorded anywhere? And he's like, no, like I write, I do all that shit, but I haven't recorded. And I'm like, dog, this type of talent for a Punjabi kid, I want to see that shine within anybody, right? That go follow your fucking dreams if you got it like that, right? So I was like, yo, we have to link up. And at first it was just like, let's link up for a feature kind of thing, right? And it progressed from there.
That was the birth of Movin Cool.
Yeah.
Was that, I heard you say that date, October 2nd? It was a specific date.
I think it was 2011. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting in your guys' latest album, Movin Cool Volume 1, you guys talk a lot about your journeys and like, you know, kind of traveling in parallel to the same place, but similar things happening to you guys. Like, unfortunately, you guys both dealt with cancer within your families around the same time. That was, you know, on the more negative or downside of life. But then I feel like after that, it's like been a lot of positives that you guys have lived in parallel with from your nieces being born around the same time to getting married like a month apart, both having sons. You're both, can I say the upcoming?
Depends when this is dropping.
Yeah, it'll probably be after.
After May 20th?
Yeah.
All right.
So baby girls, both having
repeat it so we can cut that part.
So you know, both having sons born around the same time, both having baby girls around the same age. So, and then rap, obviously purchasing your first houses together, like not together, but around the same time. It's insane. A lot of people can say they've done those things throughout their life, which most have, but for you guys, it's been similar times. And it's like, are you guys pre-planning a lot of this shit, or like, what's going on here?
Oh man, nah. It's like, all right, yo, your wife's pregnant? All right.
Time to put in work.
My phone's going on silent for a little while. No, that's dope. How does that affected your guys' relationship, and how's it helped you guys grown?
It's been crazy, man. Like everything is just, nothing is planned. It's just, that's the way life kind of unfolded. Like you're saying, like his niece was born in January, my niece was born in April, same year. Like my son was born in May, his son's born in August, same year. You know what I mean? So just like little things like that, and just over time, I think initially we just kind of connected so much over the music, but then, you know, as you get older, you go through all these life changes and stages and stuff. I think that really just strengthened our friendship outside of the music too. So that gave us a lot more stuff to bring back to the music. And I think it just developed just like a sense of trust and, you know, I guess just this bond. It's like we've been through so much life together. It's like,
yeah. It's like as we said, none of this shit is planned, right? Like it's like it just happened, but it's like we're musically brothers, but it's like so much of what was happening outside of music was happening to my counterpart at the same time. So it's like you said, the downtime before the good. It's like you're seeing that shit, you're understanding that, yo, music has to take a back seat when real life circumstances are happening, but you also have a brother who you can talk to about what the fuck is going on in life, the bullshit that's going on and how it's unfair and this, that. And at times in life, you can feel like it's just your fucking self, right? So to have somebody that you're meeting up to do something that takes you away from that, but you can also talk about real life. It's been one of the biggest blessings in my life, because all these things happen that we never fucking scripted or anything. But like I've had one of my best friends to fucking do it with, and it's like we're coaching each other through this shit, right? Because it's like neither of us had dealt with any of this shit before this, but it's great to hear that somebody else is going through it, and it makes it, if it makes sense, it makes it a little bit easier on you, because you can put it into the scope of mind that like, yo, it's not just you in this world fucking going through this shit.
Yeah.
There's everybody's going through some shit, and like, yo, let's get it together and let's do what we need to do, and also fucking celebrate the blessings as well, because it's like life is hard. Let's fucking enjoy this shit while we're here. And it's like now seeing our fucking kids play together, bro, like I asked me in 2011 back then if I could have pictured this shit. Never in my fucking mind. Like,
beautiful, man. Make some noise for that.
That's awesome.
You guys put that on display in the most beautiful way in your latest album with Timeline. That track, that video, those bars, like you guys hadn't released music that I had heard or that I was exposed to in a while. So to see that happen, and I was really curious to see what you guys are going to come out with. I want to talk about the album as well, but tell me about that song specifically. Did you guys write that together? Did you guys kind of sit apart and do that? And then how K-Ray directed the video? Tell me about that whole
Is
experience.
that the one with Villa? as
With
well?
Villa,
Yeah, with Villa
yes,
on it,
exactly,
too.
yeah.
so Noyz, I had made the beat, right? And it was such a fucking like it
I did
felt
not
so
know that.
Yeah,
You
no, hold
made the
on.
beat?
Hey, first off, you gotta talk about that. This guy's like a
producer.
fire ass
Wait,
producer
yeah.
right now.
No, like
Like
when it-
legit fire
when it,
producer.
when it comes to Movin Cool, like me and Noyz had made this thing where we're like, yo, let's have full control of our shit, right? So like now me and Noyz have taken the reins of being like, let's just create the vibes we want to make through a beat, and then let's, like kind of birth this thing like fully,
Yeah.
right? There's no outside source to any of this art. It comes directly through us.
And I think COVID really allowed us to adapt that or adopt that mentality.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of dependent on other producers for beats, for instrumentals. But now, COVID, everything's locked down.
He's a fire producer too.
Yo,
100%.
yo, he's saying COVID, but pre-COVID.
Yeah, this guy
he
had
was-
beats for days. He
Yeah,
always had
days.
beats.
Yeah, I was listening to Beat Fighter, which I want to talk about as
Yes,
well.
sir.
There's some
Insane.
songs he's just produced on as well.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's been producing since
He's
I've
been,
known him. I
he's
think
been.
Yeah.
hands down. But he's recently. I was like, how'd you learn?
Down.
Yeah,
And he just
No,
started doing stuff. I was like,
don't
oh,
watch
it's
that.
sick.
Because it was even before COVID, we're like, all right, let's take control so where there's fewer hands involved in a Movin Cool project
Yeah.
outside of just the two of us. And then COVID happened, and then he just kind of locked in. He was already building a studio at that time in his basement, and then he took that time to just learn how to make beats and how to do arrangements, and so he would just be sending me stuff. So that was kind of like the genesis
That's dope.
of the Volume 1 project, was like, us kind of in our own homes, but we're talking over Zoom, we're talking over phone, and we're like building song concepts, we're sending demos back and forth. And so like Volume 1 was birthed out of like the COVID era.
Yeah, so like for that song in specific, like I'd made the beat. I knew it was a banger of a beat, but I knew it, like when you hear the beat, you're not gonna fucking talk about bitches on that shit. Like, you're gonna say some real shit, right? So I sent it to Noyz, and it's like the way we work, it's like sometimes I might make a beat, I might record a verse, and it might be with this theme, and I send it to him. And he's like, okay, cool. And then he adds his shit to it. It might be a bare beat. He records something to it, or doesn't even record something to it. Voice notes something in his car that he did on his lunch break, sends it to me, and I'm like, holy shit. And then I go home and I record. So it's like, we were just like, let's just keep fluidity in the sense of like, keep sending each other stuff, because everybody here knows you can fall out of inspiration like that. And then you go down a wormhole and you're like, fuck, I'm the worst artist in the world. I'm shit at this. I'm doing this. But it's like all of a sudden he can say something that inspires me to write a whole 16 in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's exactly what happened. He sends me back that verse, which is like, we joke about it. It's like a love letter to each other, right? It's like, but it's like, honestly, I listened to that shit and I had fucking goosebumps, because it's like, he's so well put together what we had gone through for these couple of years where we kind of kept quiet and, life was happening. And he sent me all this shit. And you know what my first thought was? It was like, how the fuck can I write back to this? Because it's like, yo, this guy has said so much that made me fucking like shiver about like perfectly encapsulated like our relationship as brothers, right? And I'm like, how can I possibly say anything back that will make him feel like that, right? But then I'm like, you know what? I tucked it away for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like I was like, yeah, let me go.
It's like when somebody writes you like a nice birthday card. It's like, how am I supposed to write another one
right?
back?
Like, even just like somebody says such a nice speech about you, and now you got to do a speech about them, right? It's like,
Like,
holy
I
shit,
love you.
right? Yeah, right. But then it's like, I don't know. One day I just took time. I'm like, yo, this is so beautiful and good that I have to do this song justice and reciprocate that love, right? And one day it fucking popped into my head. I sat there, I wrote it, and it was just focusing on the same thing that I probably thought that he focused on that day. And through that song was birthed. And, you know, shout out to K-Ray. She made that video feel like the fucking song, you know?
For those that have not seen it, you definitely got to go see it. It's Timeline from Noyz and B Magic, but it basically emulates them as kids. And like, it's like, you know, you guys had guys perform that look just like you, and like walking through Brampton as they're young kids, and then they come up and it ends off with both of you guys with your sons, and like it's beautiful, man. And then it's beautiful on one point, but then the bars, like I said, it's just bar for bar. You guys just going back and forth. It's just nuts.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, obviously, shout out to Baljit as well, who works
shout out to both
K-Ray.
of them. They just had 2 screenings at the Brampton,
which
that's
is
right,
which
Silver
is
City.
huge.
Yeah.
So shout out to
K-Ray.
them.
Make some noise for K-Ray, man. And Baljit, yeah.
Baljit. Yo, that's our family, man. Shout out to Villa. So we had both these verses, and then we're like, we need a hook for this, right? We've already written love letters to each other, so we're like, how the fuck do we put a hook on this now, right? And then it was like, yo, who do we know? And then we're like, Villa, our brother, you know, our Zoo brother.
He's been there almost as long.
Exactly, right? He's been there, he's seen the thing, and then we're like, yo, you know, Villa adds his little swaggy touch to everything, so we're like, yo, send this over, let's just see what the fuck he does. And then when he sent it back, we were just like, yo, it's so Villa. It is what it is. And it just, I don't know, like, it gelled so beautifully. And you know, I was at the end, the end product of what we got was like so far from what we started from.
Yeah.
But just building it from top to bottom was just, you know, it was, I felt like we completed a job, and that was the greatest thing part of that.
That was dope. I gotta know, after seeing that project and hearing you guys work together so well, what the hell took so long to make an album? Like, you guys have been working together for over. Let me make this clear to everybody. These guys have been making music for over a decade. They didn't just start, writing rhymes. It's been over, 13, 14 years.
2 decades.
2 decades? 2 decades?
No,
that's 20 years. No, that you're
2011 to now.
We're Indian,
I'm thinking
man.
we're in 2030. Never mind.
We're Indian. Get your math straight, bro.
I'm just old.
Almost there. You're almost there. So he's close. But I mean, the fact that you guys have been working together, making music so long, why did it take so goddamn long for you guys to make an album?
Man, we've had we've started like 3 different Movin Cool projects over that time. And I guess the timing just wasn't right. Like other stuff would come up where it's like, okay, let's push Movin Cool to the back burner. Let's focus on this for now.
Yeah.
For example, like when we're doing the ZooBabies project, like Movin Cool, we were in the works for for our album. We pushed it to the side, focused on that for the time being. And other times too, like I felt we didn't have the resources to execute the vision we had. Like at one point we were talking about like almost like a double album, in the sense that one half would be just straight like sample based production, and then the other half would be all live instrumentation.
Kind of like the shirt he's wearing there. Shout out to Outkast. That's a big influence of both you guys, right?
Yeah. Big Outkast influence on that.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't have we didn't know enough musicians to like pull something like that off. We didn't know any. Yeah, we just didn't have the resources to make something like that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But like we started it as best we could, but it just wasn't in the cards at the time.
Yeah, it's funny because like I think the group Movin Cool was created maybe like 2 songs into us like working together, but then it took like 10 plus years to like actually do something together, right? But it was like he said, it was like that was always the goal. Like obviously there was Noyz, there was B Magic, we were pushing these things, but the Movin Cool thing was always gonna happen. But it was just like, let's find the right time to do this thing that we've dreamt of, right? And with everything that happened, it's just this was the right time, right? And it's like the way we have full control of it now, I think that's what it was meant to be. With everything that's happened in both of our lives, I feel like everything just naturally happened the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
The funny thing too is like when we first started, like we came up with the name Movin Cool, we only had like 3 songs under our belt or something. But Humble was like, yo, I don't see I don't understand how you guys are a group. I don't understand how this makes sense because personality-wise, you guys are so different.
Complete opposites,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he was kind of like prophetic in the sense too, where he was like, this project, whatever you guys are working on, is not gonna come out until this guy personality over here, this guy personality over here, until it intersects in the middle.
He said that from day
Yo,
one.
shout out to Humble, man. He's always been
He
such a
knows.
helpful guy
Yeah.
in like the industry. Like anytime I've reached out to him, he's always been super helpful. I know he's a big influence on a lot of your guys' careers as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Shout out to him, man. And like he sees stuff and he knows, and he's not one of those guys who hides information.
Yeah.
It's like if he has it, he'll share it.
No,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I remember him being like, yo, Noyz is gonna start rapping like Magic, and Magic's gonna start rapping like Noyz. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know, like that will never happen, right? But it's through us making music, like if there's a certain theme, I'm not, you know, gonna do ratchet ass shit on it. And it's like, if I'm doing some ratchet ass shit, he's not gonna come fucking give you the knowledge, you know, like, right? Like he's gonna do what he does the way he does it, right? So, but it's like, he was very prophetic about it, like just being like you guys are gonna find a middle ground, right?
Yeah.
And through time we did, because it's like, yo, we've been on numerous songs together, so we did Zoo together, and it's like now the last couple of years has been like it started with stage. We got comfortable on a stage together. We did that before even making a full project together.
Yeah.
Through that, we became even better at making songs together. So it's like the learning aspect of it.
yeah.
It's like any great duo. You like
Yeah.
me and him are
Experience,
complete
right?
fucking opposites in everything we do. We have similar interests, but we know how to work in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's give and take, right?
Mhm.
And it's like we've created a balance that works, and that didn't happen overnight.
No, makes sense. I mean, you mentioned it, and I'm going to get to it right after this one, but something Humble was involved in. It's still one of my like all-time favorite tracks, Renaissance,
Yes,
with
sir.
you guys, both of you guys. Humble's in it, Sonny Malton's in it, Fateh's in it, City.
Yeah, Mandeep Sethi's
Mandeep
Sethi,
Sethi,
yeah.
yeah, man. Was that right after El Macombo? Did that come together, or was that a little bit later down the line?
I think it might have been
Close,
the
but a little bit
following
later.
year.
Yeah.
The following year.
That
Yeah.
the way you guys, every single person executed on that track was insane, man. Like
Yeah.
that just competition and just everybody just putting their best up.
I feel like after El Macombo, it made a lot of shit happen, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it started with Voice for the Voiceless popping on YouTube, and then like all these artists of Punjabi descent like started being like, okay, we can do this shit, right? And it's like, you know, like the Birds, the Fatehs, you know, people felt more comfortable putting their shit out, and through that, that's kind of where those collaborations started getting birthed, because it's like, yo, there's other motherfuckers like me who grew up in the same type of family like me, who grew up on hip hop, not just trying to do like a Bhangra song. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like we all fit in this little bubble,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, yo, we have a community now, right? And back then it was just, yo, we want to make dope shit. Oh, there's more people that do what I do. And it was just like this excitement of, yo, let's do this. So it was like, if somebody wanted you to jump on their song, it was like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit. Like, let's, you know, your fan base, your little community that you built, your little community that you built. So we're like, yo, we're stronger together. It's that Punjabi thing. Let's come together and let's fucking build this shit, right? It's like, we didn't know what it would become, but at that time, it's like, let's just do something. Let's let these creative juices get fucking out there, right? And through that, like, do you know how Renaissance came together? I don't really remember.
I don't remember how the song came together, but I remember the video. I remember it was Halloween.
It's behind a No Frills, by the way.
Yeah, it looked like a grocery store. Yeah.
So we were in there's like Babu's neighborhood, right? So we're trying to find a spot to shoot this video because the track was done. We had everybody together. I think we tried like 2-3 different locations, 2-3 different ideas, and we're like, yo, this is not working, right? So then we found that random plaza on the side of a grocery store.
Is
We're
it the Mavis and Eglinton one?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No.
I thought so.
Is it Mavis? No, it's like Dairy and
I don't think there's no frills out there.
I don't know if it's a No Frills
I'm pretty sure it's a no frills.
I
think it's maybe an Eglinton. It might be. I don't know. Whatever.
For the longest time, I thought it was the Fortinos by my house. I was like, oh, they shot it right here.
They all look the same, to be honest.
But yeah, man, everyone was just like, it was getting late in the night. It was getting cold. So we're like, all right, let's try an idea. Let's see how it works. So we're just on the side of this grocery store. And then we're like, all right, one man comes, his verse is done, next man joins him. Try to make it all look like one continuous take.
Yeah.
I think so the guys were walking towards the camera, but the cameramen were actually sitting in the trunk of a car. And the car was just in neutral and just like slowly going forward, and we're just rapping towards the...
Was that Babu and Harmon who shot it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that at that point, it was like, yo, bring your resources together and let's just make some shit pop off. That was like that guerrilla tactic shit. Like, yo, you know somebody who does this, you know somebody who does this.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody who has a studio, somebody who can do, like, you know, like JJ came up through that same shit. Yo, it's just like a bunch of inquisitive minds who wanted to fucking do something, right? And it's like, when you're young, you're just so like, you want shit to happen, right? You're so excited 100%. About making shit happen.
Doesn't matter that it's minus 20 outside.
Yeah, like, yo, bro, I was frozen that day. Like, you know, we were all frozen that day. But it was like, yo, it was just so cool to do something, right?
It's worth it, right?
Yeah.
And that eventually evolved into what everybody knew as ZooBabies. Like, not the exact amount of people, but a lot of people that were there that day ended up, forming ZooBabies. Jay Static was heavily involved with it as well. I'm gonna let Jay Static start with that story and where you got involved with ZooBabies and how that came apart.
Before you start, I'm just saying, the whole podcast has mentioned ZooBabies so many times.
Absolutely.
I personally have been waiting for this moment to have at least two of them on here.
Yeah,
now,
well, we had Fateh on.
We had Fateh.
Yeah, and then Sonny Malton separate. We have
and then we got two guys together.
We had Babu. We were just missing Villa. Yeah, that's right. So we'll get him on one of these days.
I'm not going to explain it because I have the worst memory of life. I can't remember what happened yesterday. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, when did we meet up?
Whose idea? Was it Harmon's idea? Was it Jay Static?
Me and him will have a blurry vision of this.
Yes. He will not. Yeah.
So it's
broken down. So on August 14th at 4:15 p.m. This is what we did.
This is where we were.
Yeah. So the way it kind of came together, it was kind of based off what Magic was saying, is like that energy of, okay, we're working on stuff. Who's available? Come through if you can. Let's make something happen. Right. So I think it might have been, it was either 2011 or 2012. It was Gil P's birthday. Shout out Gil P.
Shout out.
Yeah. So Babu was like, yo, I want to do a song for Gil P, right? And we're just going to make this track and just have a bunch of like inside references that only Gil P would get, right? So the people that were available that came through were me, Magic, Fateh, Babu, and Villa. And we shot it at Fateh's bedroom because he had a studio in his bedroom. So we all came through together.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Fateh was the first guy that I knew had like a studio in his crib.
Yeah.
Mind you, it was a closet and it was a laptop on a desk. But
Functional.
we were like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Like,
Yeah. It was, shout out that studio. So much music I made there.
Music.
Yeah.
I remember the video now that you're saying it's coming back because I watched it on YouTube and it's all you guys in the room kind of doing your parts, right?
Yeah. So we recorded the track. And then we shot the video right after recording it. And we're just like, okay, what do we shoot for this video? So we just used whatever was in the bedroom. Like there was a guitar, there's a keyboard, there's like a tumbi. I don't know, just whatever.
Gucci bag.
Gucci bag, right? So the song wasn't meant to be anything serious. It was just like, all right, we're going to make a funny song for our friend because it's his birthday. And then we put it up online and that shit just like blew up.
Yeah, that was Supreme Duffel Bag, right?
Yeah,
which kind of
that's
like,
what it was.
that was the first thing as like a joke kind of thing, right? And look what that did, you know? Like,
so just based off the buzz off that and the love we were getting from that, like friggin', this was like prime for like Das Racist too, like Heems and them. Like Heems retweeted the track, I remember.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh shit, what's happening right now, right?
Like, is this the most love you're getting?
Bro, this is, I'm talking about viral before viral was a fucking thing.
And like
100%. Like there was nothing that would like, you know, like we made a song for our friend, posted it on YouTube. And within weeks, it's fucking across the globe.
The guy he's saying who retweeted it, like that guy's performed, like that group, they performed on like, what was it? Is it Letterman? No. I forgot who they performed on. They performed on some huge,
like at that time, Das Races was fucking huge.
Massive.
And even now, like till
so
this
the
day.
fact that they reposted, like Heems reposted one of the guys, that was huge. I remember the conversation. Everyone was like, yo, look. He reposted it. That's insane.
I mean, someone's listening.
Yeah.
So then off that, it was like, okay, yo, people are interested in what we have to say. Like they like this chemistry, they like this dynamic. Let's try to come together and make a couple more tracks and see what comes out of it. And at that time, again, same thing where it's like, yeah, we don't have resources, but we're gonna somehow make it happen. So this was like over the summer. I don't even know who owned the unit, but someone was renting a industrial unit. It was out in Malton. Mad sweaty, no AC. We're in the summer, so we're recording there into the late night. So I just remember like doing tracks till like 2-3 in the morning, then coming back out, getting some air, just taking long strolls down Airport Road. Walking down to the Tim Hortons, and we just come back to the studio. And every night there was just this energy of like, all right, what can we do? What can we create? How can we make it fun? Because that's what we tried to capture. I think that's what connected, or that's what allowed Supreme Duffel Bag to connect with people, was just like the fun of it, right? So like we just kept stacking tracks, building tracks. We didn't even know a ton of producers at that time. We were just like ripping beats off Bandcamp. Like,
just stealing, just heavy stealing at that point.
Yeah. So we might have had like a good 6-7 tracks. So like a lot of stuff was recorded in that that office unit. A lot of it was recorded in Fateh's bedroom. And then once we had like a pretty decent body of work, then we brought it to Static. And then like the final recordings, and then like you made a couple of tracks for us as well that ended up on the album.
Yes, sir.
So JJ, you really added like the polish and made everything cohesive and really put a bow on it.
Even like, sorry to cut you off, but like it started as like such like a guerrilla thing, and then it became like a structured thing in JJ's basement, right? And it's like I remember those times just being in JJ's basement.
Shout outs to JJ's basement.
Purple. A lot of legends came out of JJ's basement.
Yo, we recorded Voice for the Voiceless in that basement.
Exactly, right?
Crazy.
So whatever.
Remember that.
That sparked all this shit, right? But shout out to that fucking legendary basement. That's one of the best studios ever.
Right? Sherry Mon did the illest freestyle down there.
But like I say this to say this, like till this day, and I've had fucking a lot of good times in my life, a lot. Right, but those were some of the most funnest times. Just a bunch of mind you, me, Fateh, Amrit, Villa, Babu, like none of us were like super close friends. Like we came to do this song for Gil P, and it's like it'd be a shame if I didn't mention it, but like Sick Activist Network and all the shit that they were putting on back in the days. That's kind of how we all got to know of each other, as well as YouTube, right? So it's like events like that, and like events like open mics at Jagmeet's office and stuff like that. Like it got a lot of this shit brewing, right? So it's like once we got together, it was just like honestly, I had so much fucking fun. Like what I say is like a bunch of young kids. Like, we never been in a proper studio. Like, me and Noyz had never... We were in a basement rapping to a fucking mattress, bro. Like, we went from that to being in this guy...
Breakfast Club.
Like a fucking... It's still a basement, but it's actually treated for sound.
That felt like the craziest thing. Walking into his basement, he had a booth and then the studio.
Bro, we used to see that shit and we're like, this is some Transformer shit. It goes from a regular house till you walk through a fucking bulletproof door and you're fucking in a studio. Like to us, it was like some... And he like, yo, at that time, I didn't really know JJ like that. And he was like, yo, me and my dad built this shit. And I was like, yo, your dad's so fucking cool. I was like, yo, uncle did this shit. I was like, yo, bro, that's fucking so dope.
Crazy.
That your dad fucks with you like that, right? I'm just like, yo, bro.
The same way, bro.
I've been rapping like low upstairs because I don't want my dad to hear that I fucking rap. Like, you know, it's like... So it's like seeing somebody older than me that has a supportive father, you know, it's like even little things like that. It was like fucking going into my psyche. But it was like, I say this to say like that time period, what you got from ZooBabies, it was just this fun.
It was all fun. It was nothing but fun.
As a Punjabi vocalist, like I understand what you mean because you're not at home jamming with your family.
No.
Even your boys they're not into music.
You're not doing guzzles fucking
Right?
in the
Like
living
I
room.
can't. They're like, yo, shut up. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop saying, right? But when you're with boys that are doing the same thing as you and have grown up the same way and they have the same goals as you, like you're on a different level. You can be yourself
100.
that you can't be at home. You can't be with your actual like grown up boys. So
My
that's
favorite
huge,
time
man.
of recording was having each individual person come at
was-
one time,
Yeah.
and everyone else is in the waiting room because everyone else is scared of everyone else.
I
And
used-
there was only like a couple of guys that would be in there at the same time.
JJ like mentored, and not to say that everybody was
Yo.
talented there, but JJ took each individual person for
Yo.
like an hour in there and just would
Yeah.
deal with them.
Yo, sorry. Going off of that, like, yo, shout out to my brother JJ because you have five of us, right? Yeah. 5 artists that are not like seasoned.
Different personalities.
Different personalities,
Yeah.
this, that, different levels of how they record. Like, yo,
Not
if you,
mic trained,
if you don't do music, let me just tell you, everybody has their own personal way of recording.
Yep.
Some person might rap for 2 bars and then record another 2 bars. And
Yep.
another person can do, I'm going to do this 20 million times until I get it in one take.
That's
all right?
me. That's me.
No. But the thing with Noyz is he'll do it in the first 5.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He'll do it in the first 5 from start to finish. Then there would be me. I would do the whole verse. I'd get to the last 3 seconds of my verse and I would mess it up. And it would be the perfect take. And because I messed it up in that last word because I got excited, I'd have to redo it again because I never like punching in, right? But it's like you're dealing with 5 different people, 5 different levels of understanding recording. And this guy had to fucking sit there and be like, all right, let's do it again.
I thought it was
all
fun
together.
because when you look at the DAW, you just see like one waveform.
but see-
Then you see
You see how he says
Then you see another
dog?
one?
That's like
yeah.
his little fucking sound nerd shit. that gets him hard, yo.
Nobody knows what the fuck that means.
It's a
What is-
program. The
Oh,
program.
okay.
No, right?
Yeah.
It's like to
Like,
him, it's
yeah.
interesting because
Yeah.
it's different than I'm
Yeah,
assuming
yeah.
most sessions.
100%.
to be,
Okay,
right?
You're a
way
producer
different.
now. You know what that means.
No, yeah, now, right? But back then, I'm like, yo, what's this nerd talking about? Right? No, but like to be honest, it's like now you can ask him. I'm the nerd asking him fucking
100%.
questions of how do I do this? Like,
And even like the personalities in the group, like there would be, everybody would kind of be in their own circles. Like you and Villa would be together, Babu and Fateh, Noyz would be bouncing between the 2 groups kind of deal.
Yeah.
But like when you guys would make music, it sounded like one whole like unit. When you guys would perform,
The
you guys were
performances.
killers on the stage. Like what? The album was a success in my eyes. It was amazing. You guys did a great job on the project. After releasing the project, why was there no follow up and continuation for the?
We
the
tried.
We did try.
we tried.
Yeah.
I feel like sorry, I don't want to talk too much, but like I feel like we were kind of in this weird space. Like now that I think back on it, like with clear eyes, it's like we were kind of in this weird space where like YouTube and the DSPs were popping off.
Yeah.
Right? Where like streaming was about to pop off and YouTube was like, obviously YouTube is still popping, but it was like we could just post something on YouTube and it was that, right?
DSPs
It's like,
is streams.
it's
Right?
Streams,
streams,
Spotify and
right?
all
So
that.
it's like as ZooBabies is not on no streaming
No, SoundCloud,
network, even though
maybe.
fucking I get a message about it every week to be like, put this shit on there, right? But it was like it still did what it was supposed to do, right? But it's like I feel like if we were in today's time and that exact same shit happened, we'd be fucking out
I
of
agree
here.
with you.
Yeah.
There
Why
was that
can't
little-
it go on a streaming site now? Like, did you guys have your paperwork straight back then, or is it just too complicated?
we
now?
could
There
still
was
put it
no
on.
fucking
Yeah.
paperwork. Like to be honest, like yo, it was just a bunch of fucking young
Just
kids
having
and
fun.
like getting together. But
I'd have to find those. You have the masters? Someone's like that. Someone's
Somebody
I
has
know what
it.
you mean though,
Somewhere.
Guggen.
or
Like,
the CD somewhere. I'll
there was
just
like a
fucking rip it.
vague time where it was transitioning to the new era of music, and the only thing was YouTube or all these other.
I also
bigger
feel like with the
labels.
whole-
But it was like a transition, and that's when that all happened.
But like with the ZooBabies second project, I feel like everyone, because once that project hit,
yeah,
I feel like everyone finally understood who they were kind of as artists.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully.
Hondo.
Whereas like you also came into this wanting to make a name for yourselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was like a
That's true.
like a push and pull between the two, because now ZooBabies had this pop off, and the individual artists, they had
Also-
the pop off too, but they wanted more of that to happen.
Of course.
So I think there was that struggle of like
100%.
maybe we went too fast into doing a ZooBabies 2 and not enough of do the individuals and then come back for something.
Mhm.
Kind of like the Wu-Tang
I
approach.
get what you're
Yeah,
saying, but
yeah.
them figuring out their individual artist, like all those streams kind of accumulate towards ZooBabies in some way as well, right?
What? Huh?
Because
I
like
didn't understand that part.
they all individually kind of curated their individuality
From ZooBaby.
from ZooBabies.
No, I
right?
think they had that from beforehand, but I think
maybe
if
like,
not,
just
it was like the
tweaked it a bit.
polishing side of things, or maybe the working together or
Well,
working with other people. I don't know.
To me, the way I look at it is like when we first did ZooBabies, it was like, yo, forget everything else. Let's
Yeah.
do ZooBabies.
No
right?
expectations attached to it.
No
Not-
expectations.
not-
And everybody was on board, right? Like, yeah, fuck it. If we're going to put our energy into this, let's all push it, right?
Yeah.
All these people together is going to do better than any of us solo, right? And we did that. We did really well. But it was like, think about it. None of us, we're all different friend circles. We're all this, that. We're all different lives. You know, like, why do you think all these groups split up and this and that? It's hard to fucking do this shit, right? It doesn't always have to be like a big beef or this, that. Like, to bring this amount of people who are growing up now in their mid-20s and life is happening and this, that, it was hard to do it. Yeah, I kind of agree with JJ in the sense of like, we rushed it. Right? It
Yeah.
was like strike while the iron's hot,
Yeah.
right? It was one of those things, but it's like ultimately what we just needed to do is just go into hide and record again, right? Without going with what the hype was said. To me, it feels like, there was a lot of fucking like ideas of what we should be and what we should do.
Yeah.
And not everybody was on the same board, which is fucking understandable. Like we don't all think the same. We don't all have the same aspirations. We all come from different families. We're all this, that.
And the industry was changing.
And
at
the
same
industry
time.
was changing on top of that. And it was just like, I don't know. Like, I just know for volume 2, I had my shit done.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Yeah, he was.
ZooBabies fan, don't blame me. My shit was done. Yeah.
Well,
This guy, at least on 3 or 4 episodes, has been asking for ZooBabies to come.
I was a huge fan. Like I was there for a lot of it. I saw a lot of it.
I need to hear Amrit's side because that's just my side. Everybody has their own side.
Yeah, I think just going back to when we were working on Volume 2 at the time, or the second project, it was like everybody had different ideas of what they wanted it to sound like, right? So, there might have been. I remember vividly, like we had maybe 5 or 6 tracks that were in the works, and everybody had hang-ups on at least one of the songs. So I remember one track that was like, yo, I hate this beat. I'm not writing to this shit at all, ever. Do not get me on this track. This song's never coming out. And like, that was me. That was my own hang-up, right? But then there would be other tracks where it's like, maybe I would have had an idea, and it's like, yo, I made this beat. Let's all write to this. And someone else might have been like, no, I'm not feeling that. I don't want to do that.
And it could have just been because you didn't jump on something else
It could
that
have
they
been that
jumped
too,
on.
right? Or they might have just been not feeling the same.
But we said,
5 different styles of rapping. How is
But we
it
also
easy to
said-
pick a beat for that?
And
but
now
we
you're
also
more
said we don't
established.
have to do 5 artists on every
Yeah, I was just
every
gonna say
song.
that,
We
yeah.
can do 3,
That was something
2,
that
5.
JJ kept saying, but it was like, I remember even me being hard-headed
Nobody
about
wants
that.
to be
Being
not on the track that takes off.
you guys are gonna spit. I can't spit. Like,
Yeah. So I think that was a big part of it. It was like there's expectation attached to it now. It's like, how do we make this as good as we can? And each person has a different idea of how to make it good.
Yeah.
And I think just like, when you have a little bit of success, there's more people that want to be around too.
Yeah.
Right. So one thing that like kind of rubbed me the wrong way with the creative process was like people that weren't necessarily present for the recording of the first project were now trying to have input or like trying to change lyrics or, you know what I mean? Like I remember vividly like Magic in the booth and, people were like, yo, change this line. And then I just remember how angry you were. You're like, what?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Right. So it's like different, like
We call people out on the
yeah.
show, so you can say who that was.
So just like between the 5 of us, there's wildly different ideas and expectations and directions that we want to take the project. But then externally, there's other hands that are, trying to get involved too.
Yeah. Well, when you see success, that's when everybody starts to get, they see dollar signs and all that kind of stuff, right?
To be honest, like I don't even like. It's a fair point, but it's like we didn't see there was never no dollar signs behind it. Like to be honest, at least from my vantage point, it was like, yo, we have the ability as a fucking all Punjabi, in a sense, boy band. Like I remember other dudes calling us boy bands, like acting fucking hard, right? But it was like, yo, that was good for Punjabis, bro. Fucking 5 dope ass rappers who are totally different, giving you all different vibes, right? 100%. Just being creative, not doing anything bad. What? Just fucking sharing their stories. Yeah. And it was like, yo, even that got hate, right? But it was like, our thing was just like, yo, this is dope for Punjabi kids to have something like this, right? And it's like, for that sake, I so badly wanted it to work. To me, I think it was just wrong timing. Yeah. It's like everything else. It's like, yo, bro, you don't have to be best friends to be in a group. You don't need to. Like, yo, bro, I respect all those guys, right? They are who they are. We don't have to be best friends, but it's like, yo, we had something good. And it's like, I wish that it did better than it did. But it's like, the way I look at it is like, for some reason, like, and it's like a thing that I look at Punjabi people, it's like, yo, we can all uplift each other and we can fucking do great fucking things. A little bit of ego fucks that up a lot of times.
We got a lot of bit of ego.
A lot of bit of ego.
It's our downfall, man.
We can't act like we're above it.
No.
Like, yo, fucking JJ knows the amount of fucking talent that has come through JJ. Imagine if there was an investor that could have fucking, I'm talking about fucking YouTube. When there was the Just Reigns, the AKs, the fucking, any fucking dummy could have seen that was a fucking gold mine.
B Magic, I'm going to put the F-bomb counter up.
Sorry. I'm down. I apologize to any kids listening out there. My kids are going to be watching this as well. I apologize, but it's
don't show your kids this podcast.
I know you too well. That's why I got to call you
right.
out.
I'm passionate about these things, right? But the thing is, like, yo, this is a thing that happens in our community way too often, right? We have so many talented kids coming out of our shit, and there's just people trying to take advantage of it rather than build something. And that is something that I really wanted to come out here and say, and I hope that I myself can also help to that, because I'm not going to act like I'm perfect as well. I've told people, yo, bruh, I ain't got time for this shit. But the thing is, us as Punjabi people, in this entertainment thing that we run, but we're such a minority in, we should fucking back each other, collab with each other, and build this thing up to the point where the same way the South took over hip hop, we could do that if we just fucking did it together, right? Yeah. So for future generations, for our generations, I just want to say, yo, stop battling each other. There's enough time and money for all of us to be here.
Absolutely.
Work together and build Punjabis up rather than tearing each other down. Yeah.
Yo, make some noise
100%.
for that, man. Absolutely.
That's huge.
Well said. The lengths or the heights that you could get to when you work together is just undeniable. Absolutely, man. JJ, why'd you fuck ZooBabies up, man?
I know, right?
We got to talk about your guys. You guys have a cult following, I always say. Like, you guys have been in the music industry for over a decade now. There's always this, you guys have this attraction towards you that people just, they love about you. How is it when you're not putting music out to continue to get I know you guys get the messages, like, when's the next track coming out? When's the next album coming out? You're heavily involved still with still the rap scene in Brampton. I see a lot of work that you do with mental health and hip hop. Is that your kind of outlet of making sure that you're still involved in music? Like, how do you guys still stay involved when you're not putting projects out?
Yeah, I know for me, like, my creativity kind of comes in bursts, right? Mm-hmm. So if there's a period where, there'll be a period where for like 2 months I'm just writing nonstop, and then I'll kind of hit a wall, and it's like, okay, I need to do something else. And if I keep trying to push the writing, I'm not going to get anything good out of it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my creativity comes from being able to do different things, whether that's making beats for other artists, whether that's, organizing events, whether that's working on my own tracks, whether that's doing workshops, like you said.
Yeah.
Even when we did the podcast, Immigrant Hustle, like that kind of came out of.
Yeah, shout out to Immigrant Hustle. That was a dope podcast you guys had. There's so much stuff. We probably won't have enough time to talk about it today, but I want to mention some of it because like Noyz is so impressive to me, man. And
Crazy.
100% agreed, man.
100%.
And the NBA India, you did a feature with them where you were talking about the love of basketball, and like that's huge. NBA India reached out to you and like you did a project with them. You had a noisy documentary on Vice Canada, like some really big stuff that this guy's done. It's called All the Flowers, a show that you guys do.
Yeah. Just a new event series that me and the homie Original Gerv that we just started this year. It's called All the Flowers, and it's just an opportunity for artists to come together and perform within Brampton because it's so hard to find good performance spaces within the city. You always have to go out, Toronto, Montreal, Hamilton, Ottawa. There's so little performance space in Brampton. So
Agreed.
Yeah. So
and like he said, if the first time once your song's big or is doing something, the first time you're going on stage, like it's because you didn't have opportunities like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So with All the Flowers, we want to.
That's our camera guy, probably breaking an expensive piece of camera.
With All the Flowers.
Yeah. With All the Flowers, we want to provide artists a space within the city where they can come together to perform and network and build with other like-minded folks. But we also wanted to use it as an opportunity to just celebrate the arts in Brampton. You know what I mean? So every event that we do, there's 2 headliners and they're always Brampton artists that are headlining the event.
So not necessarily hip hop, but just any type of artist?
Open to anything. So
anything.
The most recent event we did, like we had hip hop, we had R&B, we had spoken word, we had punk rock. Like it's just a really dope mix of everything. And I think that kind of speaks to, like the creative diversity and just like the creative energies that are flowing throughout the city.
And I saw that you guys were like nearly sold out for that event, right? Like it was packing up real quick. I saw you go on like a live or a video talking about that. That's awesome to see, man, that people locally are supporting stuff like that.
And I think with Brampton right now, it's in such a unique spot as far as like just the volume of international students that are there and how many of them are artists too.
There's so much talent coming in. And they're sacrificing, they're kind of leaving their talent quiet because they're here to
They're here working, they're studying. So
but we need to figure out how to tap into that, which
exactly
we're doing.
Yeah. So we want to have this event as kind of a space where, that community can come together and still perform. Right? It doesn't matter what language you speak. If you spit, if you have the talent, if you can sing, we want to give you that platform to do so. So like we've done two events so far. Like the one we did in January, we had like 4 or 5 folks that came here as international students, and they were like the hardest MCs I've ever heard in my life. Like no word of a lie. These guys were super sick. And then the one we did in April, like we had a Punjabi punk rock artist named Easy Shepherd, and he came through. He just killed that shit.
Killed it.
Wow.
Right. So we want to have this platform for, it doesn't have to be South Asian, doesn't have to be Punjabi, but if you rep Brampton, if you're from the GTA, come through, share what you have to share, and we want to, cultivate and strengthen this arts community that we have in the city.
Dope, man. That's dope. Make some noise for Noyz, man. Doing all that hard work out there, bro.
Thank you, man.
When with the big wave of Punjabi hip hop coming out, have you ever considered doing a track in Punjabi? Have you switch up the flow? Is your Punjabi legitimate enough?
You're sounding like my mom right now.
Like when
Punjabi
that was like me and Noyz. We've heard that from the get-go, right? And it's like there's nothing wrong with that.
Because when you guys started, in all fairness, it never almost even existed. Bohemia was probably the only person I remember back then.
Yeah, like, yo, look at now. You got the Chandigarh freestyles and shit like that. Like, yo, that shit makes me proud.
Yeah.
Like,
They have
like
ciphers
India
out there.
has
It's crazy.
Yo, India is like
Crew 172. shout out to
Crew
you.
172. They
yeah,
hold these ciphers every
exactly,
week.
right?
It's
So it's
amazing.
like
Shout out
it
to them.
reminds you of old school New York when hip hop was born,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, to me, at least they're doing it the fucking right way, you know,
yeah,
sticking to the pillars of hip hop, right? And to me, that is the most beautiful fucking thing to see, right? And it's like, even when we were starting, that shit wasn't there, right? Like hip hop hadn't reached Punjab. It might have, but like not like how it is now, right? It's everywhere, right? And it's honestly beautiful to see, because it's like nowadays, like he said, like I went to the last event and it's fucking unbelievable. I went there expecting like, yo, any open mic could be whatever. I was blown away to the point where I was like, I was inspired. I was in a little funk. I didn't write nothing. I didn't make no beats. I went there. I seen these people going up on a stage for the first time and like blowing me away. I literally, I pulled Umrit aside. Shout out to Gerv. Gerv's in the building. I pulled him aside and I go, this is unbelievable what you guys are creating. And this is something that a younger me would have fucking died to have. So yo, shout out to these guys for creating that in our fucking in our city, our city Brampton that we love. But it's like, yo, it's a stepping stone. Absolutely, right? It's like some people don't even know that they have it until they get up on that stage, get some claps, and realize that same thing that happened to me at El Macambo, somebody might need that to
touch on that. Now, not hip hop wise, but at least Punjabi music wise, Toronto has become the hub.
The hub.
And you can say Brampton is the hub in Toronto,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
So now if these people are coming from India, you don't want them to sacrifice their dreams that they had back home just because, like, now they're coming to the hub of it. Go to school, get your job, but you're in the hub of Punjabi music. Like, even if you're a hip hop artist, like
still
there needs
follow
to be
your dream. Yeah.
some sort of, like, we need to give them somewhere to start or somewhere to come out and start somewhere.
Yeah, like even during Zoo, like I remember we had like, because I didn't really know Fateh before that, but then we became close friends through that, and I was just like, we had always said, even through Zoo sessions, Fateh's a kid who grew up, like we all grew up with Bhangra music, obviously, right? But he's a kid in a Bhangra team, the same way Malton was in one of the best Bhangra teams in Toronto, right? And like, that's a no-brainer. You grew up in that scene. Like, like, don't get me wrong, my Punjabi's good, but it's like, I don't feel like I can articulate my emotions in Punjabi.
Only when you're swearing.
Yeah, exactly, right? But it's like, I like, you know, my mom's a poet. So it's like, I couldn't do it justice, all right? So it's like, for me, I was like, if I can't do it justice, I'd rather not. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. Yo, power to all my brothers who have the ability to rap in Punjabi. To me, that's beautiful.
Is it your mom and Fateh's mom that write poetry together?
They're in a group together. Poetry.
That's sick.
Same as shout out to Rick's Good Eats and Jyot Gumman. Their mom as well.
Raj Kummar's in it as well.
Raj Kumman. Like, yo, shout out to Auntie. Like, yo, my mom rediscovered her creativity through that group, right? And it's like,
she's working her 9 to 5.
Exactly, right? But it's like, yo, I did not know none about this about my mom growing up. I knew nothing about it. I started making music, and then I knew my mom was into poetry, right? And it's like, holy shit! And it's like that, like, God knows how many of our parents dabbled into something, but it couldn't pay the bill, so they never took it further. Right?
Noyz speaks about that. Noyz also put out a book that he wrote. Like, I don't know where it ends with the credentials that this guy has, but you speak about the importance of, you know, having these conversations with your parents and hearing these stories, because it gives you a different perspective and like a way to connect with them, rather than just, you're my mom, you're my dad, you know, and following that, like, I don't want to get slapped type of mentality. But, you know, once you can find a way to connect with them, you start to realize where their struggles were, how they got to where they got to, and kind of finding a way of connection, you know?
For sure, yeah. And, you know, that comes from just, like you said, growing up and not really knowing much about your parents and like what their story was, how they came here, why they came here, and like how they grew up. So, you know, my dad growing up, he would always drop little hints about his life. He'd be like, yo, I spent a lot of time in Greece and I know how to speak Italian. It's like, what do you mean? Right? Like, how does this make any sense? What were you doing in Greece? Why were you there? When were you there? Right? So we just got to a point where it was like, you know, I live with you, I grow up with you, but I don't know you. Right. And I feel like that's a common thing a lot of, you know, Punjabi folks can relate to, about, you know, feeling disconnected from their parents or from their grandparents. And so with that book, what I wanted to do was just take that opportunity to learn his story and, you know, document it and preserve it, because we've had so many, like, around that time in my family, we had, you know, 2 deaths, people that passed away. And after their death, realizing, you know, I didn't really know them. Like I grew up around them, but I didn't know that.
Their stories are gone with them, right?
Yeah. Right. So what I wanted to do with my dad was like preserve that and document it.
Absolutely.
Because his story ties into so much of what is, Punjab history, but also history now. Like, coming up in Punjab around the time of the Green Revolution and how that influenced farming and like why that made farming no longer like a sustainable thing for him and for the family, right? So having to leave and then, not having his papers and like not being able to go through Pakistan. So having to fly to Afghanistan and then figuring out his way through there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Just like understanding how one person's story can be impacted by, by society, by politics, by economy, by geopolitics between nations. So that book was just kind of like a time capsule of what his life was and how he was influenced by all these different factors and how it brought him here to Canada. But also, having it kind of be a basically like a teaching point as well for myself to learn how much of his story connects to right now.
Because we always just think our parents just left Punjab to come here for a better life. But when you put it into perspective of the actual events that caused them to have to leave or their parents wanting them to leave, it's crazy to think like B Magic's dad has touched down in 60 different countries in his lifetime.
Illegally.
60. I can't even name 60 countries, And it's like to hear some of those stories, like you're saying your dad, being in Greece and Italy. It's insane, man. We got to make some noise for the puppies, man, and the mamas.
Shout out to all the mummy daddies doing what they got to do, baby.
And in moment of celebration, our show was created to celebrate our artists. It was created to celebrate people like yourselves, to bring these stories to the forefront so people know who you are, where you come from, so you can inspire others to do great things and follow suit like you guys are already doing out there. We wanted to find a way to celebrate with you guys. So Jyoti was supposed to get 2 boxes, but he got 1. We got some laddus, in Indian culture. We celebrate with sweets. So we want to show you guys, love while you guys are here, give you your flowers, give you your laddus while you can still eat them.
Thanks, man.
And just make some noise for you guys. We love you guys, man.
Honestly, thank you so much,
Thank
man.
you guys,
No,
better than a Grammy right
That's
there.
it.
You know what? The amount that you guys have contributed to the culture musically and in just ways of just showing positivity throughout, showing that, you can make the type of music that you want, not just conforming to what is going to sell or what's going to make you a hit or put you in the limelight. You guys have always stuck to your guns of this is the type of music we make. Whether it puts us on a commercial platform or not, we're going to stick to this because it's what we love. We do it for the love. So big shout out to you guys for that, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Before we go, I gotta ask you guys, and I've been waiting on that music for a while. I have the album on repeat in the car, but I gotta know what's next for you guys. I'm not gonna close the door on ZooBabies because
I'm not gonna either.
if you guys were able to make an album after 10 years of working together and do what you guys did, I'm sure that you guys could find a way to somehow come together. But what can we expect in the interim and kind of what's coming up for both you guys?
Yeah, man. So we're working on Movin Cool Volume 2.
Yes, sir.
We actually just linked up over the weekend.
That makes me happy to hear that.
Yeah, man. So we're working on Volume 2. We just got to finalize the tracks, get them in the mixing stage, but definitely going to drop this year. And I think with the workflow we've created, and even though we're busy with family lives and whatnot, we have this just ease to the flow that we have, which allows us to drop projects frequently.
Change a diaper, go drop a flow.
Exactly.
Because people don't know
just
you
set
guys
up a mic
work.
right over the table. That's it.
That's dope, man.
with
Because
the
you guys
projects,
both work
yeah.
full-time jobs as well. We got to consider that you guys have your own careers and you're making music. So it's we got to be patient, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's definitely dropping this year though.
Okay.
So with our mentality with Movin Cool now is just like, we don't need to sit on it for too long. Just create it if it feels right, package it up, put it out, and then move on to the next thing.
That's it.
Right? So just like capture that creative energy for what it was for those 2-3 months,
Mhm.
and then just let it go. Let it become what it's going to become.
As an artist, easier said than done, though, right? So many artists say that I'm just gonna put it out, I'm just gonna let it do. But then, as an artist, I'm not an artist, so I couldn't put myself in those shoes. But I can imagine you second guess and you judge your art so much before giving it to the world, right? Like how's that process of? Is it one of you guys pushing the other, like fuck it, we just got to put it out, or is it both of you guys just agreeing that we're gonna do it?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like before we put out volume 1, we had enough to put out volume 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time quiet, but let's just say we sharpened the knife while we were gone, right? So it's like, just because you don't hear nothing doesn't mean like the years spent off. It was learning how to book shows. It was learned how to get placements. It was operating like a fucking like a label.
Yeah.
We have learned all that. So it's, even though you haven't heard music for all these years,
You're learning.
me and this guy did everything to learn how to independently create music.
That's dope.
Right? And we had to do that to now be able to know that you got to invest in yourself. And if you really have a vision, fucking put the money behind it. And what you put out, you will get back.
Absolutely.
That's the way this world works.
Yep.
And this is just a starting of it, right? So volume 1 was just, let's just put this out there. Shot the video. It got good reception, but it was like, that was the first step of 5 steps we planned, right? So now it's just about executing constantly, right? Because it's like, we knew, life is busy now. There's kids involved. There's families involved. You got to fucking be a stand-up individual at home before you can do this. We don't have the luxury of just fucking staying in the studio 24/7.
Yeah, if you're in the studio for 12 hours and you're not making money, or you miss a day at work,
like,
that better come through somehow.
Bruh, it's to the point where Noyz is only dropping he's one take Drake up in there. He comes through, drops a verse, and says, "Yo, I gotta go feed the baby."
That's how it is,
but
man.
it's like, makes you better, right?
100%.
And the thing is, the best part of it is we're both busy.
Yeah.
We're both busy being fathers. We're both busy, still in love with this fucking crazy game. But the thing is, we push each other. And the thing is, we have more recorded than we need, but never put it out until it feels right.
Nice.
The main thing has always been quality over quantity, but we also understand that the way the game works right now, quantity is needed.
No, but that's, the crazy part is, it is quality over quantity, but the crazy part with you two is that you guys can lay down verses like no one else. Like, the amount of times I've seen both of you guys write to I could throw you guys 10 beats right now. You guys would have 10 verses done. Doesn't mean you're going to release them all, but you guys have the quantity. You get to choose through the quality. Whereas a lot of other people, they don't get to do that. They only have what they consider quality, and it might not be quality.
Well, that's another thing as well, right? It's like, there's a lot of people that put out everything they make.
Because that's all they
right?
have.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fucking songs that me and Noyz did that haven't seen the light of day because we hold ourselves to a certain standard. I'm not saying they're bad songs. Some of them may be wrong timing. Some of them maybe never fruitioned or whatever it might be.
Demos.
But the thing is, ultimately, it has to pass our check as music aficionados before it fucking, like, you give a fuck if anybody else cares about it. Like, I know that's a bad thing to say because you ultimately do it for fans, but it's like, if you see the music we make, we really give a shit about it.
Yeah.
And if anybody else likes it, that's a fucking bonus.
But I don't even think you guys, like, if I was to listen to you guys' stuff, I feel like you guys don't even, if I was in the studio with you guys, I don't see you guys talking about, hey, I think this is what our fans would like. I feel like you guys do music and you're like, this is what we love.
This is what I want to do.
This is what our core audience is going to fucking love. Let's see what happens with beyond that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful approach because that does not happen. Today, I can have 15 artists in the studio. The whole thing is, hey, oh, this is a big trend. Let's try to do something like this and with this and this and this and this. And this will be a big audience. It's always reach over there and then try to grab it towards you.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that our approach has kind of affected the fact, like, maybe we could have been bigger if we tried to hop on some trends and do that, but it wouldn't have felt right.
No.
Right. And Magic, you have a line, it's self-satisfaction. So it always seems worth it. Right. And then
I forgot I even said that.
I'm telling you, man,
question,
it's
though.
bars for days with these guys, man.
So now, even with what JJ's talking about, as the music industry has changed, we've all seen it change. You guys have seen it change. Now it's all about promotion and social media and getting in front of the camera. Like, how are you guys dealing with that? And how are you implementing it in your project?
That is honestly
Curious.
a fucking great question, right?
Because it's like, I'm struggling with it myself.
Exactly,
that's why I'm asking,
right? Because you're living through it, right? So it resonates with you as well. But it's like, it's fucking hard. Because it's like, you almost feel like a prostitute out there being like, let me fucking do 6 posts to promote this one fucking song.
You do
Why
more
can't I
work.
just do this one fucking thing? Be like, please listen to my song.
There's
And you
more
listen to-
awkward
but
work
that's the
doing
thing.
all those posts and shit.
We are living in an algorithm world.
Yeah.
But you're also living in 36 Chambers world.
Exactly.
You're not living in whatever
So it's like,
Spices
yo,
world.
You said it
I don't
earlier. It's the
know.
ego,
Before it
right?
was-
Yo,
It's
no,
all about
Before it was you do the
Yo,
music, people will listen to it. If they like it, they like it. They don't like it, they don't like it. But now it's like you got to get in their face for them to even hear it.
Yo, to be honest, we have lived through the most drastic changes in music.
Yes.
And JJ can speak to that. It is the most drastic change of when we started to what music is now. Right? To fucking to be able to create and then also keep tabs of how to be in the industry. It's a lot,
yeah.
bro.
It's like
3
3
think about
jobs
it.
in one.
What it is to be an artist is to let go of everything else and create art based off of something that inspired you in your life, and it's just let me
It's not
onto
that
this
anymore.
track.
It's not that anymore.
Not that anymore.
It's not that anymore.
This is a recipe, and let me do this cookie cutter shit because this is what makes a TikTok cool. Right? And I'm not saying that that's wrong. Yo, power to all these kids doing
100%.
that shit. Fucking you. Yo, if I was young now, I'd be fucking milking that shit. But I didn't have that shit when I was younger, right? We had what we had. So it's hard to fucking... This game keeps changing, and you gotta learn how to be a industry person as well as being an artist. And those are 2 complete fucking different things.
Well,
Yeah.
people talk about the difference of independent artists versus going to like a major label, and everybody always says independent because it's more money. You own everything, all the good stuff. But just to your point, like there's so much work involved in that, and if you're a true artist and you just want to produce art, doing the business side of it, the marketing side of it, all that
You're
other
wearing
stuff,
like
the
10
sales,
hats in one.
it's not easy, and a lot of people are not cut out for that, or they don't like doing it, or it's a drag. It's like, you know, I run a business, but I hate doing paperwork. Sitting in front of a computer makes me fall asleep. Like, I hate, you guys know I'm technology retarded. Like, you know, I don't like it. But if you want to, you know, be your own boss and reap the rewards of all that kind of stuff, and be your own artist, independent, and reap the rewards,
You gotta wear all
you
those
have to
hats.
wear all those hats, and it sucks, but it's part of the business, right?
Yo, it's like I said, right? It's maybe we're not where we're supposed to be in what we thought years back. But the thing is, to me, it's you can't predict this shit, right? It's we worked our asses off. Life happens, right? I met my wife through music. I had 2 beautiful kids through that. Through my fucking this ESL kid who decided to rap. I met my wife. I decided I created my family. Same thing for my brother across from me, right? There's some things that are bigger than just having fucking clout out here,
Yeah.
right? If you're a true artist in the sense of art, there's things that are bigger than that. And people might say, oh yeah, because you're not popping, you're going to say that. Cool. I was popping one day or two, brother. Like we all are, right? It's like, that's temporary, right? But it's like, I can spit a song that I wrote 5 years ago and it can pop today. I don't know a lot of people that can do that, right? Noyz can spit a verse he wrote the first week he started rapping and it's still relevant today because it's his actual fucking life. It resonates because it's reality for us.
Don't cut
It's
yourself
not-
short, man. You're still popping out there. Everywhere we go, people recognize Noyz, B Magic. They know this. You know, Shop
My
Idolo, he's
wife.
not here right now. He says at almost every wedding he shoots, somebody's like, yo, you know B Magic? You shot a B Magic video? Like, you made your name out there. I mean, this is pre-wife, but you had everything that comes with celebrity. I seen it
Agreed.
firsthand.
Even my wife was like, "Oh,
Low. Keep it.
yo, I had an event to go to today, and my wife said, "No, like you got to do this podcast because B Magic and Noyz are coming." I'm like, "You know them?"
The
And
real
she's
ones
like, "Yeah, I
know,
do."
man.
I'm like,
They'll make some
"And she's
noise
from
for B
Malton,
Magic
too."
and Noyz, man.
For real.
Come on.
And I didn't mean to say that in like some fucking sob story. Like,
No,
yo,
no.
everything, hey, bro, I love every part of this shit, right? But it's just like
I get what you're saying though. It's difficult,
trajectory, right?
because-
It's like, yo, it's like if we gave it the attention that it needed, and if everything went the way life is supposed to in the background, there's so many things that account to this shit, right?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? And now,
I'd love to get you guys on Crew 172's Cypher thing. I feel like that'd be fucking sick.
dude, intern.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Crew 172 homeboys, like no stress
Shout outs to
whatsoever.
them. We've been giving
Because
them a lot
I
of
don't know
shout-outs.
what it. I don't know why. I just feel like you two would just eat it, and you guys get it. It's
Why don't
not
we do
like
something in
just getting
Brampton
a
like that?
random
Well,
on
the
there.
thing was like,
Sick.
I remember even before
100%.
Sorry.
before any of this shit started popping off, like even somebody like shout out Mandeep Sethi out in
Yep.
the West Coast. Like I remember him going out to there and being like, this is before like hip hop has gotten there, but it wasn't like you're seeing ciphers,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And like I remember he went over there and he did the Slum God shit, and it was like I would see him in a gully somewhere fucking with a bunch of kids breakdancing.
Yeah.
I'm like, how beautiful is this? The true essence of hip hop.
Can I ask?
Somewhere in India.
That's
Like,
it.
To
exists,
me, that was
man.
unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And this is, I'm talking about back then.
Yeah.
And then to now, you have fucking ciphers out there.
Can I
Punjab.
ask a
So
cipher?
beautiful.
Can you, for me and the other viewers, a cipher is like just a
Freestyle.
open freestyle jam
Yeah,
session. right?
just spit what you want to spit. There's no rules to this shit. Say what you want to say when you want to end, or if somebody wants to jump in, you jump in.
It's just
right?
freestyle. It's like Jugalbandi or whatever you want to call
is
it.
Haven't you been drunk around me? It's what I do.
Tari's actually, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of drunk, drunk dudes that have rapped in my ear. Tari's at least top tier of the drunk dudes.
Oh, he's got bars?
Low
Oh
key.
man, let's not
Low
start
key.
that. We drink every episode. They're gonna be on me.
We're
about
gonna end
it,
the
man.
episode with Tari freestyling.
No man,
He's got
guys.
beats now,
great.
too, man.
No,
But that's huge. I think you, like
I leave
that'd
it to
be
the
sick
pros.
if someone started something in Brampton,
No,
GTA.
for sure. It needs to, right?
just like a
Because,
park.
like, yo,
Everyone come
like,
out.
Yeah.
Umra can talk to it more now, right? But it was like, yo, there was legit a fucking guy that went on stage at their open mic who said, I got my PR yesterday.
what?
Bro,
Shout out
that's
to
as a
huge,
person
bro.
who still has a
That's
PR card,
goosebumps, bro.
that gave me fucking goosebumps.
That's
Like, dog,
crazy.
you made it, bro.
Never
Like, you're
travel with
good.
B Magic, man. You'll be waiting at the airport for hours.
Yeah, but that's
Norwegian
his fault. He doesn't want to get the citizenship. That's the difference.
Here's the
Yo,
funny thing.
You're Norwegian.
government
yo.
of Canada, I need my citizenship. Let's
Quality
go.
of life is probably better there anyway, so you might as well go back.
It's insurance.
Take me with you.
The funny thing, though, is him, Norwegian dude, Canadian PR. If me and him travel together, I'm the one getting pulled over.
Like, where are you taking him?
We're not even out of country. We went to Edmonton and this guy got secretly screened,
Oh,
bro. And I'm
God.
like, oh, what the fuck's going on?
The time we went to Texas, too, I got like pulled
Texas
off
was
into
bad.
Where in
some-
Texas?
Was that
Austin.
South by Southwest? when
Southwest.
you
Yo,
guys
I thought
went?
Austin
Yeah.
was beautifully like.
It is.
It was.
Oh,
the
it doesn't
airport.
explain that though.
Airport. No,
Yeah.
everywhere else.
Airport,
Like,
though.
yo, we were literally walking through Austin, Texas. There's a cab driver who goes, Oi, Sardar ji, ki
Yo.
seva kariye, right? Like, yo,
that's
we're
right.
walking through Austin, Texas. And we're like, a man says that, and we're like, Koi nahi, uncle ji, like, yo, asi theek hai, or like,
He was like,
this,
yo,
that.
come to my house.
He's like,
When's my wife
yo,
making you guys work?
he's like,
Yeah.
tusi kar no. He's like, main bhi rehanda si Rexdale Boulevard te, and like, you know, like, yo, man did his little bid here,
That's
right?
dope.
But it was like, yo, it's like, fun shit like that makes us realize, yo, like, bro, it's bigger than us, right? Like, it's dope. Like, we were there.
The representation is there. You know,
It's
that's
crazy,
dope, man.
bro.
Oh, that's dope. Guys,
it.
I gotta thank you guys for coming on. This is definitely not going to be the last. There's so much more. I didn't want to not embarrass, but bring up some of B Magic stories on the first one. I thought I'd get them warmed up, but the next one we'll get into the in-depth dark stories and we'll start talking about it. But I'm excited for the new project. I want to hear it. I'm excited to see what you guys bring to the table. Now that you guys have, like, it seems like you're focused, you're sharp, you guys are ready to go. So it's got me excited for it, man. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come out, sit with us, and share your stories. I hope it
definitely.
inspires the people that are listening. And you guys are welcome to the platform anytime, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much, man.
Yeah, man.
so much.
And the love, man.
Honestly, thank you for having us. Like I said, Daddy's my good friend JJ. Everybody here are my good friends, and it's like seeing it come from what it started as.
You've been
to
there,
this,
man.
It's beautiful, right? And it's a space that was needed. And seeing the way you guys have elevated it is beautiful. Thank you for having us.
You,
and
man. Thank you.
like I said, we'll make more memories outside of this shit.
100%.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Thank you guys, man. Cheers to a good episode.
Cheers.
Amazing episode. Thank you
Cheers,
guys for coming.
It's a wrap, boys.